you and welcome to the session, the Hindu Editorial Analysis for Proficiency in English. Let us start the session with the question, what is enrichment? Today's editorial is an important one. Good morning. How come you're here? A pleasant surprise. Today's editorial is all about, in a way, it is related to economy, it is related to polity, and it is related to environment, though the editorial does not touch that particular dimension. Broadly, it goes with the polity and economy. And comprehension skill point of view, an important editorial. As usual, enrichment from vocabulary point of view, but not too many words. A few important words are there. Grammar consolidation, effective English, mini mocks, and vocab consolidation. Let us start the session with the question, what is this editorial about? This editorial discusses the Supreme Court's landmark ruling. It is about a particular ruling from the Supreme Court that allows Indian states to tax mineral rights and mineral bearing lands, which reinforces the principles of fiscal federalism. Reinforce means strengthen. And what is this fiscal? Fiscal means related to monetary aspects and federalism. In the entire world, if you take democratic countries, we have two models. One is unitary, the other one is federal. When we say unitary, that means the center has all the powers. When we say federal, the states have the power. But India is neither that nor this. So, what is the word we use for? It is not quasi, you have to say quasi. Quasi federal. What does it mean? Partly federal, partly unitary. That's an important word you have to know. What is the tone of the editorial? The tone of the editorial is analytical and balanced. Complete analysis with a neutral stand based on that balanced. Let us go to the enrichment from vocabulary point of view. The very first word, discourse. Discourse, we have got many a time. Exactly. Balanced, composed, poised. Very good. Anusha. Reinforce, strengthen, fortify. Here, discourse, I usually give one combination. What is that? Religious discourse. Today, if you watch some channels, a particular time slot, a person comes, talks about religion, and talks about the ethics, values, all these. That is known as religious discourse. Generally, what is the meaning of the word discourse? A written or spoken communication or debate. Either communication or debate. Example, the academic discourse on climate change has grown significantly. Here, the academic discourse means the academic debate related to climate change has grown significantly. Synonyms, conversation, dialogue, discussion. Antonyms, silence, quiet, monologue. Mono means only one, monologue, one person, related to one person, not dialogue. Landmark. Landmark has got two or three meanings. One goes with, if you're trying to find out a particular address, so we ask the question, what is a landmark? And that goes with an important place or a building based on which you can easily locate that particular address. But here, landmark judgment, landmark victory, landmark something means very important or significant. Part of speech adjective, an event, discovery, or change marking an important stage or turning point. When we say landmark victory, something very important, significant, and something extraordinary. The Supreme Court's decision was a landmark in the history of civil rights. Means the decision taken by the Supreme Court, a landmark, means an important one in the history of civil rights. Milestone, breakthrough, hallmark. All are important words you have to remember. Inconspicuous, ordinary, unremarkable. But here you have to recollect one redundant expression. What is it? When we say breakthrough, it means a major development. We should not say major breakthrough. That is not correct. The next one, domain. Domain also we have got many a time. What does it mean? Major breakthrough is redundancy, not correct. Do remember. An area of territory owned or controlled by a ruler or government, that is one meaning. A specified sphere of activity or knowledge. A simple word, it means a particular field or a particular field of activity. Look at the example. The scientist is an expert in the domain of genetics. That means his field is genetics. He is very good at genetics. Look at the synonyms. This is an important word. How do you pronounce this? A realm. How do you pronounce it? A realm. Field, sphere. Outside, exterior, margin. Not exactly related to this word. Denuded, this we have got for the first time. Part of speech verb can be used as an adjective. Stripped off its covering, possessions, or assets. I was about to say to make something bare, made bare. Bare means without. Bare feet, barefoot, and also you can say bare infinitive. You have to recollect from grammar point of view. The hillside was denuded of trees after the fire. Means the hillside was did not have any trees after the fire to be removed. Barefoot. Synonyms: bare, exposed, stripped. Antonyms: covered, concealed, protected. Concealed means what? Conceal, hide, hidden. Confer. Confer goes with awards, rights, privileges, all these. Camouflage. Okay, you can use in a way related. Granted or bestowed, a title, degree, benefit, or right. As I said, it also goes with awards. Confer a particular award. The university conferred an honorary degree upon the distinguished scientist. Here, honorary, not honorary. H is silent, based on that an, not a. An honorary, an honest man. You have to recollect all those. Distinguished means a highly, one who has achieved a success in a particular field, one who has made his mark in a particular field. Bestowed, an important word. Granted, awarded. Deprived, withheld, denied. Proponents of some idea, some cause, something means they try to make it more popular, they try to take it forward. Noun, a person who advocates a theory, a proposal, or course of action. They try to take it forward, then we use this. Proponents of the new law believe it will reduce crime. Imagine there is a new law, and some people they try to. There is a subtle difference between the two. Reward is something that you get based on your work. Reward, he has been rewarded because of his efforts. But award goes with a particular institution and based on someone's work in a particular field, officially, publicly, a particular thing is given. For that, we use the word award. Award goes higher level, reward can go at a lower level. Workplace, we use reward. But when you take the country level, someone gets not the reward, he or she gets the award. That is the difference. Don't ask new questions. Please don't do that. Then the flow gets affected and we won't be able to complete. Proponents of the new law believe it will reduce crime. Advocates, supporters, champions. Opponents, critics, detractors. Those who oppose. I appreciate your enthusiasm, but if you ask questions continuously, what happens? I won't be able to do the analysis. I won't be able to enrich your knowledge. The purpose will be defeated. And sometimes I do answer based on the importance of that. Otherwise, if I keep on answering, the actual purpose gets defeated. Do remember. Avenue. Avenue, one meaning a road or a street with trees on either side. We say avenue. But here another meaning, a way of approaching a problem or making progress towards something. In a way, avenue means a particular path, a particular approach. They are exploring every avenue to find a solution. Means what? They're trying to get look at every possible way, every possible path to find a solution. And a route, method, path. Dead end, blockage, impasse. Impasse is an important word. Dead end is one important expression. Our students know, my students know. If you take a dead end road, very good. What is it called? Cul-de-sac, a dead end road. It goes with the road. When you enter a particular road, it is a dead end. Then you have to say cul-de-sac. That's an important one you have to remember. Other words, this is like a stalemate, dead end. Dissent, you got to be careful with spelling. Here, dissent means to oppose, part of speech noun. The expression or holding of opinions at variance means opposite with those previously commonly or officially held. In a way, in a nutshell, it means oppose something. Example, there was dissent among the members of the committee. Means some members did not agree, some members opposed. Disagreement, opposition, protest. Agreement, consensus, approval. Simple words. Arbitrage, an important word, part of speech noun. The simultaneous buying and selling of securities, currency, or commodities in different markets or in derivative forms to take advantage of differing prices for the same asset. Based on the market fluctuations, the market dynamics, you buy or sell, you do that. That is known as arbitrage. Buying and selling. It goes more with the stock market. Arbitrage opportunities arise when there is a price discrepancy in different markets. Here, discrepancy means a difference in the price market. Exploitation, trading. More than exploitation, we should use the word trading and speculation. Stock market is all about speculation. Investment, long-term holding without trading. That's all about editorial vocabulary. Now let us go to what exactly this editorial is about. In a way, it is important because it deals with two spheres, one economy, the other one polity, and the third sphere or the third realm hasn't been touched by the editorial. It's all about the mining rights. And today, because of mining, yesterday I was going through one article. If you take Indonesia, it is known for rainforest. They have started mining industries. Because of that, a lot of forests are being wiped out, and along with the forests, indigenous species, they have become endangered and also extinct. Very dangerous, for not at all advisable. Mining industry is not good for the environment. It's all about mining rights. Fiscal federalism means what? Fiscal means monetary, related to budget or financial aspects, and federalism related to states. On taxing mineral rights, what is the main idea? The ruling on taxing mineral rights opens up resource avenue for states. It talks about to provide the background. Today, if you take mines in a particular state, who has the rights? The states have the rights, and they have the right to impose a tax also. But that has been controversial for some time. Based on the ruling by the Supreme Court, now it is clear the states can go for taxation when it comes to minerals and mineral bearing lands. But the center has a right to stop that, to make that null and void. If the center does it, then it becomes a problem. Mines can never be taxed. It talks about the same thing. Mineral rights opens up resource avenue. Because of this, states can get some revenue, but based on that, there's one negative impact. What is it? There may be unhealthy competition according to one particular member, the one who opposed. Eight members agreed, one member opposed, and the apprehension, it may result in unhealthy competition. Let us see how it goes. An important one you have to read twice or thrice to understand. Not that easy to understand or comprehend. It is not often that fiscal federalism finds a prominent place in judicial discourse. Important place in it is not often. It is not often that fiscal federalism states related to the fiscal dimension or the fiscal aspects. It is not often that fiscal federalism finds a prominent place in judicial discourse, means judicial communication. Not that important. It does not happen quite often. It happens perhaps once in a blue moon. The Supreme Court judgment holding by an overwhelming majority of 8 is to 1. This is what I was talking about. Yesterday we got the opposite word, underwhelming. Today, overwhelming. Here, Supreme Court judgment holding by an overwhelming majority of 8 to 1 that the states can tax mineral rights and mineral bearing lands is a truly landmark ruling. So, what is this ruling about? It is about the rights of the states to tax the mineral lands, mineral bearing lands, as it protects the legislative domain from the interference by parliament. Because of this ruling, what happens? The states get a source of revenue. Revenue means what? They can tax and they can get money, but the ratio is 8 is to 1. States can tax mineral rights and mineral bearing lands is a truly landmark ruling, means important ruling, as it protects their legislative domain from interference by parliament. That means states can do it and they have protection from the domination or overruling of the center or the parliament. For decades, it was believed that the states were denuded of their power, means they did not have that power. That was a belief. To impose any tax on mineral resources extracted from the land because of the prevalence of. Why there was a belief that states did not have the right to impose tax on mineral bearing lands because of a particular act. What is that act? Because of the prevalence of a central law, because of a law. What is that law? The Mines and Minerals Development and Regulation Act 1957. Even though the right to tax mineral rights is conferred on the states through the entry 50 in the state list of the 7th schedule, it was made subject to any limitations imposed by Parliament by law relating to mineral development. This is the point actually. Based on particular entry 50 in the state list of the 7th schedule, they have the right, states have the right to impose tax on mineral bearing lands or minerals, but there's a limitation, there's a particular clause, there's a limitation. What is that limitation? Subject to any limitations imposed by parliament. Imagine the state, a particular state comes up with a particular tax related to mineral bearing lands, but the parliament imposes something. Then it stops there. The parliament has a right by law relating to mineral development. The Union government argued that the very existence of its 1957 law was a limitation on the state's power to tax mineral rights. But Chief Justice of India, Dr. D.Y. Chandrachud, writing for the bench, examined the Act's provisions to conclude that it contained no such limitation. The union government says there is a limitation to impose tax by the states. Based on what? Based on 1957 Act. But the limitation on states' power, when a particular noun, plural noun ends in the letter S, we should use apostrophe after the letter S to tax mineral rights. But Chief Justice of India, Dr. D.Y. Chandrachud, writing for the bench, examined the Act's provisions to conclude. He concluded that it contained no such limitation, means there is no limitation on the states to impose mineral tax. The royalty envisaged by 1957 Act was held to be not a tax at all. The royalty, you pay something, a particular amount to someone as a royalty, and that is not considered a tax. The royalty envisaged by the 1957 Act was held to be not a tax at all. The union was hoping that once royalty was accepted as a tax, it would wholly occupy the field and thus remove the state's scope for taxing mineral rights. The center has its own interests, the states have their own interests. So, here, based on that, the sentence says, what was the motive behind the union government's stand saying that the royalty has to be a tax? The union was hoping that once royalty was accepted as a tax, it would wholly occupy the field and thus remove the state scope for taxing mineral rights. Once the union gets the right, the states cannot impose tax again. However, the court chose to see royalty as a contractual consideration. But court has a different perspective. Court did not see that particular royalty as a tax, but saw it as a contractual consideration. However, the court chose to see royalty as a contractual consideration for enjoyment of mineral rights. It is like a contractual thing, not a tax at all. Also, it ruled that states could tax mineral bearing lands under entry 49, a general power to tax lands. There are two entries. One is entry 50, the other one is entry 49. Based on entry 49, a state can tax mineral bearing lands under entry 49. It's a general power to tax lands. That means what? That states do have the right to tax mineral bearing lands. Proponents of fiscal federalism and autonomy will particularly welcome the fact that their judgment opens up a significant new taxation avenue for the states. What is the impact of this? Because of this, now states can impose tax on mineral bearing lands and they get a new source of revenue. Based on that, the proponents of fiscal federalism and autonomy will particularly welcome the fact that the judgment opens up a significant new taxation avenue for the states, and the observation that any dilution of the taxation powers of the states would adversely affect. If at all the center tries to dilute these powers, it is going to make a negative impact, adversely affect their ability to deliver welfare schemes and services to the people. All the states have welfare schemes. They need revenues, and this particular thing provides a new source of revenue. And based on this, they can continue or implement the welfare schemes. But any intervention, the union, the center tries to impose a limitation, then these schemes get adversely affected. That's what it means. And here you have to recollect affect, effect. You all know affect is a verb. Effect can be a noun, can be a verb. However, Justice B.V. Nagaratna, one particular justice did not accept, opposed this particular thing. On what grounds we come to know now. However, Justice B.V. Nagaratna, in her dissent, means opposition, argues that if the court did not recognize the central law as a limitation on the state's taxation powers, the court has not recognized the power of the union or the center on the limitation. It would have undesirable consequences as states would enter into an unhealthy competition to derive additional revenue, resulting in an uneven and uncoordinated spike in the cost of. Her apprehension, if the court does not consider the limitation aspect, what happens? The states get the right to impose taxes. This in turn may result in unhealthy competition. Why? Resulting in an uneven and uncoordinated spike in the cost. The cost may go up. Minerals and purchases of minerals paying too much, leading to an increase in the price of industrial products. It's like a chain reaction. Surge means a sudden increase, spike also means the same. What happens here, if the states impose taxes, obviously the prices go up, minerals, then the industrial houses buy and they need that as a raw material for the products, then obviously the prices of the industrial products also go up. It's a chain reaction. Based on that, she had her own apprehension about the negative impact. Further, the national market may be exploited for arbitrage. Arbitrage here means what? Selling and trading. It goes buying and selling. It goes with the stock market trading. Given these implications, it is possible that the center may seek to amend the law to impose explicit limitations on the state's taxation power or even prohibit them from imposing a tax on mineral rights. Looking at this scenario, the center may go ahead and may impose a particular limitation on the states, either to restrict or to completely ban, say that states don't have the right to impose a tax. That possibility is there. Implications. Given these implications, it is possible that the center may seek to amend the law to impose explicit limitations on the state's taxation power or even prohibit the states completely from imposing a tax on mineral rights. However, such a move may result in mining activities being left wholly out of the tax net. Imagine the state imposes a tax, then the center regulates that and imposes a limit or may ban the state imposing the tax. Then what happens? The center cannot impose a tax. The state can impose a tax, a particular state imposes, then the center bans that one or does not allow that to happen. What is the net result? Minerals can never be taxed. That's what the sentence talks about. However, such a move may result in mining activities being left wholly out of the tax net, as a majority has also held that Parliament lacks the legislative competence to tax mineral rights. Parliament cannot do that. Parliament cannot go for tax. The states, the Parliament stops the states, then this particular thing completely out of the tax network or tax net. It ends on that particular note. Not that easy to comprehend. You have to read twice or thrice. Now let us see whole complete here. The questions based on comprehension and listening skill. Try to answer the first one. What does the Supreme Court's judgment on taxing mineral rights signify? States cannot tax mineral rights. States can tax mineral rights and mineral bearing lands. Hold this one. Only the union government can tax. No. Taxing mineral rights is not allowed under any circumstances. So what is the answer here? B is the answer. Which act was believed to limit the state's power to tax mineral resources? It is not income tax. The Mines and Minerals Development and Regulation Act 1957. A question based on explicit information, easy to answer. It is not this one. It is not this one. According to the editorial, how did the Supreme Court view the royalty defined by the 1957 Act? Sender says it should be considered a tax, but the court did not consider. As a tax, no. As a contractual consideration for enjoyment of mineral rights. It is not a tax, it is a contractual consideration. Based on that, what is the answer? B is the answer. As an unlawful change, as a donation, not relevant here. What potential problem did Justice B.V. Nagaratna highlight in her dissent? One particular justice opposed, there was a dissent. And what was the apprehension? What was highlighted? States might mismanage their tax revenue. States would compete unhealthily for additional revenue, mentioned. The union government would lose all its taxation power. Mining activities would become illegal. No, answer is again B. Which entry in the state list of the 7th schedule confers the right to tax mineral rights on the states? In the 7th state list of the 7th schedule, one particular entry gives the power to the states to impose or levy taxes on mineral bearing lands. Which one is that? It is entry 45, no. 60, no. 35, no. Entry 50. Let us go to idioms. 5 idioms. It doesn't matter. All options A or B, we don't even, you should not consider. What is the answer? That's what matters. Get your act together. Pull yourself together. Pull yourself together means to recover control of your emotions. Get your act together. To start to organize yourself. Here it is a D. Put 2 and 2 together. To determine, guess, or infer something from the available evidence. Keep body and soul together. Manage to stay alive, especially in difficult circumstances. B. Feather one's own nest means what? To make money dishonestly. D, A, E, B, C. Very good. Nagesh, Shreya, Anusha. Wonderful. Perfect. These are the words you got yesterday. Try to write the part of speech and try to write the meaning. Both are important. Part of speech, meaning. Delve, part of speech, verb. What does it mean? To go deep into something, to do research and find out something. You can also think of words like investigation, probe, all these. Go deep, that's right. Underwhelming, adjective. Overwhelming performance, underwhelming response. Overwhelming response means what? Not encouraging, dull. Counterpart. Counterpart, part of speech, noun. What does it mean? Person of the same position or same status. CM of Bihar, CM of AP, they are counterparts to each other. Then allegation, noun. Allegation, accusation, both mean the same. Say that someone has done something wrong or committed crime without any proof. Contemporary, in a way, you're right. Unsustainable. Unsustainable practices means cannot be maintained or not tenable. Tenable, not tenable. Important words. Piecemeal approach means adjective. Piecemeal approach, what is opposite? Holistic, comprehensive, exhaustive. Piecemeal means touching one particular dimension each time and trying to work on something in a slow, gradual manner, and it doesn't work in the real sense. Acquire, part of speech, verb. Acquire knowledge means what? Gather or obtain knowledge. Today's editorial, a short editorial, and a few important words are there. But comprehension point of view, not that easy. You got to read once or twice. That's all for today. Have a nice day. Have a nice weekend. No session on Sunday because the Hindu does not publish the editorial on Sundays. And after the session, we provide the PDF. Try to access the PDF. Thank you very much.